Forgive me, Lord, when I forget that you are near. Help me to call on you for...
The story behind One and Only Prayer is I wanted to make a song about reliance. And reliance to what? Well, when you rely on something, the thing that you rely on becomes a source for you, whether that source is positive or negative. And one of the things that I struggle with is consistent reliance on God. And I wanted to create a song that served as a reminder and a statement as well. I should not be relying on God when things are going poorly, but I should also rely on Him when things are going well. And what does that mean? What does it look like to rely on God when things are going well or when things are not going well? Well, that's what the song is about. And the verse starts off with something personal, where it's a prayer, Lord, forgive me for forgetting about you. Forgive me for putting you on the back burner. Forgive me for putting you to the wayside. And from the verse to the chorus, it evolves into this personalized prayer of, Lord, I'm sorry that I forgot about you. I'm sorry that after all you've done for me, I kind of just stopped talking to you. I stopped relying on you. And my one hope and my one prayer, the one thing that I ask for is that I don't forget you and that I continue to rely on you, that I continue to reach out to you. And that is what an only prayer kind of started off as. I remember there's a passage that reads, do not forget the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, who brought you out of the land of slavery, who brought you out of these things. It didn't say we should remember God when things are going poorly or once in a while. It didn't say that we need to remember God on Christmas and Easter, but our reliance on Him should not be based on circumstance. Our reliance on God should be consistent. And so I wanted to create something that spoke to myself, that said, you know what, you're doing okay, and your relationship with God is okay, I guess, but it could be better. You could rely on Him more. Even if it feels or looks like things are going well, you still need to rely on God. Why? It's because when things are going well, when we drop our guard, when we let things slide, and when we drop our guard and let things slide, that's when one issue after the next, that's when disaster strikes, when we least expect it, because we drop our guard, because things are going well. And that's why I created One and Only Prayer, is for that.
In my darkest nights and brightest days, may I turn to you.
There is one particular spot in the song that gets me every time, and it's actually at the very end of the song, not because the song's over, but it's the very last chorus of the song, and it starts off with,
and I will turn to you, oh Lord, in my darkest hour and brightest days, I will turn to you. It is my one and only prayer.
and the reason why that gets me is because unlike the rest of the song is, it's a progressive prayer, right? Lord, forgive me for forgetting about you, and then it goes into, may I be reminded on a constant basis to rely on you. Thank you for everything you've done for me. May I learn to praise you when times are tough. Let me learn how to thank you regardless of circumstance. And it branches on from a personal prayer to wanting to share the light of life that is Jesus in my life. It's not that may I anymore, it's I will. And it's a declaration. It goes from I will try to remember you, I will try my best to rely on you, I will try to remember to maintain a relationship with you. It's no longer entertaining the possibility of failure, the possibility of making mistakes. When you try to do something, you entertain the idea of failure. You entertain the idea that things are going to go wrong, and it may end in failure, and then may not attempt it again. However, when you say do, you are declaring that it doesn't matter what comes my way, I am going to make sure that this gets done. So when we get to that last part of the song, it says, I will turn to you, O Lord, in my darkest nights and brightest days. Right there, we're declaring that, Lord, it's gonna be tough. Life is gonna be challenging. That's just the way it's gonna be. And at the same time, I'm not going to allow anything to distract me. I'm not going to allow anything to stop me from making sure that I rely on you on a consistent basis every single time. Because that relationship is important. When we are in a relationship with another person, we want that relationship to be built on a firm foundation. And when it comes to God, it's so easy. It's so easy to treat God like a microwave oven, you know? Have you ever thought about when things are not going well in your life, you automatically pray, Dear Lord, help me. But when things are going well, it's like, okay, God, I'll see you later. And our relationship with God should not be like that. It shouldn't be built on crisis. It shouldn't be built on, I am in desperate need of something, let me talk to you. No, it should be built on, Lord, I need you every day. I need you every hour. I need you to guide me every step of the way. Thank you that things are going well because you are still working in and through me. At the same time, Lord, thank you that there are so many issues, so many problems, because every single problem is not another opportunity for us to go, oh, seriously again? No, it's another opportunity for us to experience the goodness of God in our lives. It's another opportunity for Him to show, I am God, I will take care of you, I am leading you down the path that you need to go through in order for you to be successful, in order for you to reach the full potential that I have given you. And it's a bit cliche to say, but we have to trust in the process that God is leading us through. It's when things are going well that we drop our guard. We think everything's going to be okay. We think because everything is going fine, what could possibly go wrong, and things are falling into place, and God wants to see us succeed. He wants to see us enjoy good things. He wants us to enjoy the fruits of our labor, but at the same time, we shouldn't be so lax. When things are going well, you want to share the news with your friend. When things aren't going well, you want to share the burden with your friend, right? It's the same thing with God, is that we want to share the joys of what we experience with Him. At the same time, we also want to rely on Him for support. It can't happen if we continue to build and base our relationship with God, our reliance on God, on crisis. And that's why this part speaks to me. That very last chorus is, I'm not just going to try and rely on Him when things are going poorly. No, I want to continue to have that relationship with God, to continue to talk and to walk with Him when things are going well also. May I not forget all the good things God has done for me and the great and mighty things He's about to do for me when the next opportunity arises. And so that is what really gets me. That's what really resonates with me in one and only prayer, is that last part. Because I will turn to you, O Lord, regardless of what my situation and circumstance look like.
Thank you, Lord. This is my one and only prayer.
I position one and only prayer after in the valley of the shadow because after we go through difficult times, like in the valley of the shadow, well, after we go through difficult times, we remember how God has delivered us, how He has provided and cared for us when things are rough. Now it's time for us to remind ourselves, now that things are starting to look better, now that we're back on the right path, we need to be reminded, hey, don't forget what God has done for you. Continue to thank Him for it. Continue to seek Him. Continue to ask for His counsel. Continue to seek the Lord with everything you have, not just when things are going poorly. And we need that reminder for that. And so, whether we like it or not, we need reminders, even for the most simple things. You would think that before you leave the house, you need to make sure you have the following essentials. You need to have your phone, you need to have your keys, you need to have your wallets. I remember, I remember a few years ago, and I think this might have been about 3 years ago, maybe 4, that I came home during my break, because I live nearby, and I was in a rush because I needed to get my stuff and go because I was working night shift afterwards. And I locked my work keys in my car, and I locked my car and house keys in the house. Oh my goodness, I need to get back to work because I'm still on break. I need to get back in time, and I'm working another shift afterwards. And I'm locked out of the house, I'm locked out of the car, and I'm also locked out of work. Thankfully, I was smart enough to have my phone and my wallet on me, just not my keys. And you would think it would be a really obvious thing, but even then, for simple things like that, we need reminders. And that's why one and only prayer is After in the Valley's Shadow. Now that we know, yes, God is with us wherever we go, He's going to get us through the tough times, we need that reminder still of what He has done for us, what He's doing in and through us right now, and what He's going to do in the future.
You're here to show them your holy light.
The one thing I want people to get out of this song is that they're reminded to take a look at their relationship with God again and to see what kind of a relationship is it built on. What is the foundation of that relationship? Is it at the crisis where it's something goes wrong, Lord, deliver me? Or is it, I'm called like, Lord, good morning. I'm ready to start the day. I'm ready for what you have for me. Please speak to me and let me know what's up for the day. And what kind of interactions do we have? Because I don't know about you, but if a friend of mine always comes to me because they're in a crisis and I can help bail them out of it or help them process and go through it so that they come out for the better, it feels and it is a relationship where one person is just benefiting from it. And we were created to fellowship. We were created not to just be alone, but to relate to others, to fellowship with others, to do the same with God. And I want people to take a hard look of, this is what my relationship with God looks like. It's reliance on this through only the bad. But instead of that, and you know what? If your relationship with God is mostly based on crisis, it's never too late to start relying on Him and building that relationship with God based on things going well. Because He wants to interact with you. He wants to talk to you. He wants to share things with you and not just our burdens and our struggles. And that's the one thing that I hope people get out of the song is, you know what? Let me pause real quick. God, thank you for doing so much for me. But now I don't want to just call you in times of crisis. I want to build a proper relationship with you. I want to share the good things that you have done for me in my life, not just to myself, but with others, and to thank you for it, to be in a constant mode of communication with you. And that's my hope for other people when they listen to the song, is that they are reminded, hey, how have you relied on God today? Is it because you're in need of something? Or are you conversing with Him and building this relationship so that you don't just rely on Him and interact with God when things are going poorly, but when things are going well? And so remember that we should always turn to Him and rely on Him through all the bad, but even more so and more importantly, through all the good. Hey there, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you really liked it, remember to hit subscribe and make sure notifications are turned on so that you can stay up to date with the latest videos. Also, be sure to check out these videos over here so that you can stay up to date on the latest music and behind the music. And as always, as you arise and break out, remember to dream big, start small, and press on. Until next time.